Hey everybody, welcome back to another video with Regan Grimes. We are at the Cutler Nutrition Warehouse, and this is where Cutler does his podcast. So we're going to do a podcast today. We got Milos, my coach, Jay, and Matt. So the four of us are going to have a round table discussion. We have some really exciting news for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned, and we'll be talking about it real soon. Let's go inside.
Light bulb. You know that?
How many bodybuilders? Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
How many?
At least.
Where the fuck's the engine?
At least there's three. Yeah. We have to do it.
Where's the engine?
Yeah. So now, two have to say how good they're
I
looking.
think the engine's in the back, no?
So we need to change the coolant, but we can't find the goddamn place.
So you mean you
Just
spent
put
all
it
this
here.
money on a car and it doesn't even have coolant?
Just put it here.
What a piece
That's
of shit
a-
you bought.
No,
put it
there.
here.
Are you sure?
No, that's
This
for
is,
your windshield wiper.
Yeah.
You're gonna make this guy's car
Oh
blow
yeah.
up.
Okay. We'll call Jay.
Jay doesn't know either.
Jay does.
You can find the coolant if you open the hood.
Well, they make you go pay $1,000 to have it added at
Yeah,
Mercedes.
probably.
Yeah.
All right, so episode 44, we're back in, we just had a couple visitors that decided to swing by. Big Regan and in the Mind.
Not big mind.
Hey, I want to ask you a question, Milo. So, how did your guy miss his weight at the UFC this past weekend? I thought you were training this guy.
No, I did, of course. Yeah, but hey, I don't know if you've seen the last fight that Hamza Chimaev had with Burns. If you watch in the video, the weight cut that they have, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, we lose water very easily. Very specifically, they can't. They have to do it naturally. But anyway, just to make it quickly, Hamzat was lighter this time coming to Vegas so many days before than previously. So he should have made the
Dana
weight.
said, yeah. How would he have done against Diaz? Think he would have won, or
It would be a shorter fight.
really?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so yeah, so I think that you think Diaz would have something to say against that.
Well, listen, I mean, we all love Nate. Nate and Nick, they're legends. And I just think that Father Time is coming, and there was not the same Nate Diaz. I mean, he won
30
against
years old,
Ferguson.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's just not the same. Same thing for us. When we were younger, it was a different story. And then I think for fighters, when you come to that age, and you have so much money as Nate Diaz, you don't have a motivation.
Let me
like
ask you a
this.
question. What's the peak, just not be off topic, what's the peak age for a bodybuilder? Like, what do you think our peak level, is it in the late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s?
Yeah, late 20s and mid 30s. But you being you were much younger, right? In Regan, right? So you might peak even earlier, early 20s.
You're 28 years old.
29.
29.
I was second for the first time at 28 at the Olympia in Coleman, 2001.
Yeah, but
Well,
2001. That's 28.
8.
Yeah. That was your year. That was your official arrival.
And it was so easy for me back then, as far as like, I didn't have to do as much. There was no secret sauce to what I did.
Yeah.
It was just train. I didn't, like I said, I didn't do a ton of cardio, and I think it was back then. It was a little less expectations, right? Because the internet didn't exist, and I mean, not every guy had crazy stride and all over the place, right? You had your few in between, but to have that balance of the size, like a Chris Cormier who had been third, and like you didn't see, like he was good condition, but he had good balance more than he did the crazy conditioning of the glutes and all that, right?
Yeah. Well, if you look, Flex Filler didn't have the glute
true.
striations, or Chris or Kevin.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah, right.
Even
Dorian Yates didn't have. I mean, he was hard, right?
He was hard. He had it. I mean, I was recently looking at the pictures of back double biceps from Dorian and Nasser, because I had an argument with somebody. Oh, Nasser should. I believe that Nasser beat him in '97, right? And so no way. So they both had glute striations and hamstring, and of course Dorian's back is another level. But I think that Nasser beat him in that show.
You ever look back, Regan, at some of these like early contests, like someone like you at your age, living in the new age era, like do you look back at as far as like the Yates and the Flex Wheelers and Chris Cormiers and Nassers, and or do you look more towards the Phil Heath,
No,
Kai
more,
Greens and
yeah, that was the start of my that I would watch. You know, when you were reigning. So yeah, that was the start. But on that topic, like, shit, what was I gonna say? On that topic, like, do you think the quality of bodybuilders back then were higher than it is
I'm
now?
not gonna say that.
Because so many people
to bait
say
you.
that, you know, everyone says,
No.
oh, back in the day, you know, Dorian Yates, this and that. But like, look at your, you know, the aesthetics of, you know, you got Andrew Jack, he's ripped and he's huge and he looks amazing. Like, I don't know, were they that jacked back then too? I mean, were
They definitely
you know,
weren't as, I mean,
as
there was
hard?
a few in, like, listen, Gunther Schlierkamp was 300 pounds. Like, at the 2002 Olympia,
Mhm.
he was 300, 299, and he
That's
was
huge.
the same height as Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he just didn't have the
Structure.
aesthetics, right?
Okay,
To
okay.
fix the heat too, the air. Yeah, so, you know what I mean? It's just, that's kind of like, but he was in great condition, right? 2002.
Yeah, he was in great condition in Ironman that we competed. We both beat him at that show.
Really?
Yeah, he was crazy condition, super dry. Yeah, I'm serious.
What did he get in that show?
Fourth.
Really?
Yeah, fourth. Yeah, and he was good. But okay, so it's interesting. I asked Big Ramy yesterday. He was on a podcast as a surprise to our old school podcast. I asked Ramy, okay, Ronnie at his best or Dorian at his best? So I'm going to ask the same question to Jay. Dorian at his best or Ronnie?
Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay, that's what the. That's
don't-
what
I
I
mean,
think it's
listen,
a
you and I,
comparison.
we had this discussion the last episode, right, about body, you know, body parts, and you said, what does he have? But you know what, when you see it in person, you're like, wow, it's impressive, right?
Yeah.
But if Coleman was at his, like, the level he was at next to him, you know, just Ronnie, I mean, listen, man, I have no shame to say, like, even my best against Coleman's best, you know, it's still, I would say Coleman.
So
right?
just
The best physique ever on stage, I mean, was Ronnie
So think
Coleman.
about this. What pose does Dorian win against Ronnie? Not, I mean, against Ronnie at his best. What pose does he win?
No.
Yeah, that's
The
questionable.
lat spread, rear
Yeah.
lat spread.
But it's not. But it's not going to be.
Ronnie's
Yeah.
was
Oh,
nuts,
runaway.
Look, when I was discussing it with Jay, you gotta give this to Dorian. In every mandatory pose, he managed to look fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think his quads were great, or hamstring were great, or stomach was great, or chest, shoulders, arms.
But he was just
But
completely.
yeah,
Put it
completely put together. Like, ooh, every pose, you know, side triceps. He doesn't have great arms, but side triceps looks deadly. You know, so these kind of things. But Ronnie was another level. But if
only
you say
pose
pose by pose,
The back lat spread would be his best pose against Ronnie.
side triceps, he could get Ronnie. Ronnie didn't have a good triceps, didn't have a good abs, and didn't know how to pose really. You know? Yeah, so I would say.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you got to look at Yates' front lat spread, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, at his peak, his front double
It was
bicep
freaky.
was amazing. The lats hung there.
Yeah, but that's
The
interesting.
side tricep was like, he would probably beat Coleman in that.
Yeah.
Side chest, side chest, still, he still would be comparable to Ronnie.
He would be, but 99 Grand Prix when Kevin Flex and Ronnie were there, that side chest was deadly. There's no way Dorian could stand next to him on that pose. But front double biceps, okay, when you look at the front double biceps, did Dorian have the good arms, good biceps? He had the left biceps missing, right?
Well, at certain point of his career.
Yeah, but it was never great arms. It's not Ronnie Coleman peak biceps. There was just ridiculous.
Craziest arms ever.
Yeah, and then quads, right? There's no comparison. I mean, you've seen Ronnie, even though because of your stump and the cross striation, you could contest Ronnie on the legs. Yeah, Dorian couldn't. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, no one really had those striations like that.
I think that Jay was the only one that can stand in relaxed pose and be completely striated.
That's dude. I'm trying to get you. I was pushing on those legs the other day. You know.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's funny when
You know what happened?
Yesterday.
I've seen a picture.
No, I took over his training.
Okay, good. On a scale from 1 to 10. All right.
And then Andy told me yesterday his legs still hurt.
Yeah.
That was almost a week ago.
Yeah.
All right.
He was
So
out for like 3 days. He was out.
thank
He
God.
witnessed. He was there taking the videos.
Yeah.
He saw it,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Good session, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
So you gonna show Regan what it takes?
Listen,
Coach
man,
Jay?
You know,
You gonna lock him in a spare bedroom?
Listen, you're your biggest event right now.
Yeah.
What's
for
your
sure.
weight today?
294 in the morning.
And you just got back from a trip. You just got back from. Tell me about Italy a little bit.
Yeah, Italy was sweet. I mean, it was a really quick trip. It was the Yamamoto Italy Cup, so it was really cool to go there and represent, the company that I'm with. And a lot of people came out, and you got to take a lot of pictures, and the people there are awesome. So it was good. Like I said,
What
it was
part were you in?
near Venice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Padova.
Padova. or
Did you go to the canals at all, or?
I didn't. See, I literally came in. I was there for 2 days and flew out. So it's like
Okay.
I was flying and traveling as long as I was actually there. So I would have liked to spend a little more time, but I was obviously I'm in a really good rhythm here, training. So I really wanted to get back and
Smart.
yeah, I'm just like, let's get the work done and get back and train.
Tell me a little bit. Who'd you train for the show?
Jamie and Mohammed Al-Imam, 2nd and 4th place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mohammed looked crazy shape.
yeah,
Mohammed?
Jamie is 6'5", okay, and he was over 300 pounds.
He's 300 on stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked good. He was here a few weeks prior.
Yeah, he was here for some photo shoots and traveled a little bit too much. But listen, I mean, structurally, he's probably the widest because he's so tall.
Oh, yeah,
His
sure.
shoulders are so wide and super small waist. So front legs, front lat spread. is
Front lat
ridiculous.
spread's crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably the best.
And then he has this round muscle belly, so good chest, good
What was
shoulders,
he
good
missing?
arms.
Just the height to size ratio, you think?
Maybe a little bit more harness from the back. That some people would mention that he needs a little bit more, striations on the lats and insertions, and there was touch off from the front. But when you work with somebody that tall, if he comes flat, being that tall, he's going to be called the classic physique guy, right?
Were you
He was- I
were
was
you
there.
answering Milos's questions? Was he asking you how he looked on
No.
stage, or?
Yeah, he just sent me the pictures. He didn't expect. I said, "How there he's looking?" He sent me the pictures.
No, he looked. He looked bang on. Literally, he was super dry. He was super full. I thought he peaked perfectly.
Yeah, he peaked perfectly.
It's just the difference is like you're comparing someone who's 6. He's just not like the other guys. You got a guy that's 6'5" and everyone else is under 6. Vlad's probably 5.
So tell me about this guy, Vlad. I've never seen this guy before. Youngster,
Never.
or
Oh, listen, he qualified for Olympia last year. He just couldn't come because of a visa issue.
where's he from?
Ukrainian.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Ukrainian, yeah. And thickly muscled. I think he made a huge improvements, right, in a very
Yeah,
short
he
period
did.
of time.
He did for sure.
Dense, right?
He
I
got
mean,
he got a lot bigger for sure. Because I competed against him in Romania in 2020. That's my first pro win. I think he was 2nd or 3rd there, and he was coming up. He was freaky.
Youngster?
Yeah. He's 25 or 6, I
Yeah,
think.
he has everything, the thickly muscled,
Yeah.
conditioned. Now he wasn't conditioned previous show, whatever he was competing, and it's not that beauty like somebody like Regan, but has everything. So when they have everything, it's thickly muscle conditioned guy, then what do you do? For me, if Jamie won, a lot of aesthetic people would command the judges for it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh wow, he didn't deserve to
No.
win. He's way more aesthetic. So it always comes to that question: is bodybuilding beauty or a freak show?
Yeah,
You
and he
know,
was
so
the big. He was
both.
the most.
So-
Well, if you have a combo of both, it's great. But
Yeah, if you have a combination.
it's pretty crazy when you say pretty, and this guy's 294.
Yeah. So let's talk about that because
This is the biggest he's been, I think, right? I mean,
by far. Yeah.
I mean, you're done now with the whole classic thoughts and whatever.
Don't even fucking look at him.
man's physique crosses
Yeah.
his mind because
There's no weight cap on that.
Yeah,
so-
weight cap.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your experience the last, let's say, when's it
Month.
been? 2 months since you've been on here.
Yeah. No. I mean, I've just been training. Like I said, just been trying to get it. I mean, we made a program about 28 weeks out.
out of the show.
Yeah, from the Olympia.
24.
24 was it?
The the other plan. There are two plans to the show.
Oh, true.
I
Yeah.
want to know about the
Yeah.
nutrition. You know,
Yeah.
because I
That
know
part.
you've always battled eating enough and having enough food, you know, in preparation. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Milos, you love high protein. So the biggest thing is, you know, getting in the carbs are pretty easy to eat. I don't mind eating the rice, you know, and the protein I get around 10 ounces. I think you'd like 12 or more.
He gets about 60% of what I would recommend.
No way.
How many
So,
meals a day are you eating?
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you have to get up a little earlier to get your meals in. You're training like after what, 2 meals?
Yeah, two or 3.
Okay.
Yeah. What has helped is I do like a shake before the gym and a shake after the gym. So these are like 2 meals that I'm easily able to get in around the training.
Shout out to Yamamoto, right?
Oh yeah, Iso Fuji. Shit's good. So yeah, I mean 2 shakes in the day and then 4 like whole meals, which has been, you know, obviously that, you know, I'm just going to continue, and I'm in a really good rhythm, you know, putting weight on, but I'm still relatively lean. Like I still have abs, so I feel
We see
good.
the pictures. You know, we see the pictures.
So if you were guiding him, what would you say he needs to do to take it to the next level?
I see more progress that I've ever seen with him, and that's probably because he hasn't been doing like anytime he's been here, he's been like prepping for shows, right?
Yeah.
Even though now, like you had the Olympia, you said you started 24 weeks or whatever, but you're still, I consider this like off season, like full of
Right now for sure.
Talk about your sleep, because I know you've now sorted out a sleeping issue, because that's the biggest obstacle.
Crazy.
That body, I know for me today, I hear it more than ever, is the lack of sleep in bodybuilding. And we were just talking about this before you showed up.
Yeah.
And he said, "How much do you sleep?" And dude, I could fall asleep like everywhere. And he knows.
He would sleep 8 or 9 hours a night, but then after he trained, you'd see him in the movie theater.
You would pass
and he would
out
just
again.
sit there and go back. He'd
Because
sleep
you
2
know,
hours,
I was on a high carb program,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
know
It
when
makes
you
you
eat
sleepy.
that many carbs, like especially after training, eating 200 plus grams of carbs.
Yeah.
You know, I followed a little bit of your protocols. I would, you know, get really tired that way. So talk about your sleep.
Yeah, so I mean that's been a huge thing. You know, Matt and I, we travel, you know, internationally, and this is kind of like when I figured it out, because you have, you know, also sleep apnea.
Yeah, I have really bad sleep apnea.
Yeah, so you know, we'd be traveling, and you know, he'd be like four seats up from me, and I would be behind, and I would fall asleep. But I would be so loud, and like people would be beside Matt and be like, "What's wrong with that guy?"
Tell me, did they almost kick him off the plane?
No. So we're in we're on our way to that disaster we had in Dubai, and we get downgraded from business class to economy all the way to Germany. So this is when COVID was at like its height.
Yeah.
So you have to have your mask on. So he'd be eating, he'd take like 4 bites, and he'd just go, and he'd fall asleep, and the lady would come wake him up. And so at the like 3/4 way through the flight, she came and set this note down, and it said, "If we have to warn you one more time, you're going to be kicked off the plane when you get to Germany. We're going to call the authorities." And I was like, "You have got to get your fucking sleep fixed. This is a problem."
But you put it off for a long time, though, right?
Yeah, because I didn't really think that it was.
You just didn't think it's not you, right?
Yeah, you're like, I don't have.
I was
that.
the same way.
You ever this issue or?
Of course, I have sleep apnea too. But when you say about snoring in an airplane, you know, when you like kind of snore and then you wake yourself up, and then you're like kind of coughing, like it was not snoring.
So now I take a flight. I don't know, where was it? My connection. Where's my first connection?
Germany. Vegas to Germany.
Vegas to Germany. So the short flight from Germany to Venice, I don't know, it's an hour and 20 minutes or something. But for instance, like I was still sleeping. I was so tired, so I'm like, you know, kind of dazing off, and then I'll snore and I'll wake myself up, and I kind of get scared because I'm like, oh shit, I'm way too loud. Like I'm waking everyone up. Like they're all probably like, what's wrong with you?
You know how many times I filmed him?
So,
posted it online.
So anyways, it was maybe a month or two months ago now. I went for a sleep study here in Vegas, and I got the results back, and I wake up 59 times per hour, or I stop breathing 59 times per hour. It's almost
Is that like what?
That's
what
almost
was yours?
one per minute. Yours is
mine was
even
favorable.
worse.
I can't
Yeah.
live without it.
So literally,
mine was over 300.
Yeah, when you go into the test, they're like, okay, we're gonna give you 2 hours where we're gonna monitor you without the mask and just see like how many times you wake up, stop breathing, whatever. I think it was like 15 minutes. They
Mine was 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and they said, well, we can't watch this anymore.
They came and woke me up and said, I went, damn, I slept for 4 hours, and they're like, it's 50. We can't watch. We're afraid you're not going to wake up because I was choking.
That was mad.
You remember when we used to travel? I would choke everywhere we went, or I'd
It was
fall
so
asleep.
long ago now that, because I remember when you used to travel without it, and you say, but I still ask you all the time. I'm like, did you sleep? And you're like, oh,
I do now.
Mm-hmm.
So now, once you have a machine, you actually sleep. I mean, I'll still wake up some.
What's the percentage of people that have sleep apnea? There's
We just had a conference call the other day, and the guy owns a sleep apnea. What do you say, 59% of
way more
American
people
adults
probably
have
have it than so many people have it.
But if you can't sleep, you can't grow.
No. I feel way better now, mentally, physically.
Milos, how much did you sleep when you were
you need
a full-time bodybuilder?
I had to.
He's a full-time bodybuilder.
Oh, so you still have, and you're ignoring it.
Yeah, I'm ignoring it. Yeah,
we're gonna get you.
I live this long, so shit.
What time do you go to bed and wake up?
What a great response. I lived this long, so fuck it.
Yeah, look, I took Arnold's
You would feel so much
recommendation.
better.
He says you have only 24 hours, so when you sleep faster. Sleep 6 hours, but sleep faster. So that's what I do. I mean, I'm a night owl. I go 3 o'clock in the morning. You could probably see me posting on Instagram.
Milos posts more. The only person who posts more than Milos is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, really? Shit.
Does Snoop Dogg post a lot?
He's got like 100,000 posts.
No,
Milos
I
is
didn't know
like 3
that.
behind him.
He must have a good.
Yeah, listen, I mean, for me, this
I
is.
thought you post a
How does
lot.
he come up with all that content?
No, Milos will post like 15 times in like an hour sometimes.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, hey, I just saw a treat on the street. There it is.
Nick Walker posts a lot.
Yeah,
Right? 3 times a day.
Yeah, two a day probably. Yeah.
There was a days you lose like 500 followers like this because you post too much. I don't care. I don't do it for followers. That's my photo album, and I put the shit that I like.
Yeah,
So someone said this the other day. They're like, "How the fuck does Milos have so much shit? He's got like hundreds of videos from like."
How many posts do you have on your Instagram right now?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, pull it up.
Probably 8,000-9,000, something like that.
Did you ever get those 50,000 photos you put on your desktop?
How many do I have on mine?
Yeah,
They
50,000. Yeah, 50,000 for sure.
Milos is posted
So he put
8,200 times.
How many do I have on my Instagram?
So you had an old folder of pictures, and somehow you were
1,500.
somehow
No way.
1,500. Yeah.
He's reading
A goddamn amateur, huh? Yeah, come on.
I have quite a lot, maybe 5,000.
Regan's at 5,200.
5,200.
What Regan said, I found somehow on the search
I
my
got
old pictures.
760.
760? Yeah.
Jeez.
All like, opening mouth. This picture, right?
Yeah.
But I found 55,000 pictures from my old Enter the Mind bulletin board.
55,000.
Yeah.
What is
But you know what I did? You were there.
What is it
You were
called?
there. You guys were there.
We tried
What is
to
it
help-
called?
we
What
tried to
do you
help
say?
you.
The Mind Bulletin Board?
Yeah. Enter the Mind.
Oh, okay.
Enter the Mind.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you call that when you scroll? You try to like
Drag into the folder.
He dragged all 50,000 photos
His
onto
desktop.
the front of the desktop.
No, I was supposed to do it in a folder, but I missed it, and I let it go. And I was downloading for 5 days. You guys were there, right?
No.
I didn't know how to stop it.
And you can't have that much shit on your desktop.
And
It'll
it
clog
just
your
froze.
computer.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, what do I do? Help me. I'm like, I have no idea. No one's ever done this before.
Yeah, just to make it clear. Today I came here, and I have to put the coolant in my Mercedes. So I asked all of them. Jay has the same Mercedes, right? But the newer class, he doesn't know where coolant goes.
Of course not.
Yeah. Too bad this is not live, because I was going to
I've
take it
never
live.
opened the hood of any of my cars. How's that?
So anyway, yeah, too bad. By the time this goes out, it's gonna be too late. But
Jay
I
will
was
pay
gonna
$50
ask.
for someone to put windshield wiper fluid in his car.
Yeah, I know where windshield wiper. You just guys showed me. Actually, Regan
just
told me to
found it.
put my coolant.
Yeah, Regan said
in
put
that
coolant.
one.
Yeah,
there.
see, that's why I didn't want to fuck it up.
Yeah.
All right, so you're making progress. Tell me about your training. Like, what are we doing? Are we doing giant sets? Are we doing volume? Are we doing 12 reps, 15s, 20s? I know we did some leg stuff the other day.
Yeah, I mean everything's usually
Were your legs sore, by the way, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they were for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever felt the leg like that?
No.
before? You ever felt?
No,
All right, so I know your focus has been improving.
Yeah.
You know, chest, leg size, just overall density, right? So tell me where we're at right now.
We're following a pretty, I mean, it's a, when we get into the workout, 2 warm-ups, sets, and then 2 really hard, like all out 110% working sets. It ranges from around 12 to 15 reps, but the thing is if you can go over 15, we do it, and then we're just like, oh shit, okay, we need to go heavier, so just trying to go as heavy as possible, keeping the form. I like to keep perfect form, and yeah, it seems to be working well. I mean, maybe for legs we choose about 5 or 6 exercises, and go in and just smash it, come out.
And so you're working on the nutrition side. I know some of the training you guys train together for the contest stuff, but lately he's kind of been doing his own thing. So tell me what you see with his progress and where heading into this Olympia, what he's looking for.
Well, we talked before. I'm the biggest fan of Regan's physique since I've seen the kid in 2017, right? He has this God-given structure, beautiful shape, prosthetics, right? So we all, when we talk about it, we see him, put the 15 pounds on him and he wins the Olympia. That's your words. To get this 15 pounds of quality, of course, if I would train him, it would be 2 heavy-duty things, and then it would be, all kinds of giant sets, just pumped to the max. But he came back from Canada and started training with Andy Velchich, also a good friend, and used to be athlete. And they are similar strength. You're stronger, but so
I think Regan's stronger than most everybody, right?
Yeah,
he's stronger than the other guys realize.
Freaky. I thought
you've trained a lot of guys.
What he can pull for a back is ridiculous. Shoulders ridiculous. You see the chest, because of that nagging little injury and scare. I was always terrified of chest hair. And when you feel anything, and he did right here, so then you can't really push it. You can't put a heavy load.
What were you doing when you twinged it?
Geez, I don't know. It's a long time ago.
Like before this, or?
Yeah. And now I just like
before Vegas, or?
Yeah, years ago. It's something that's just always tight there. I feel like just from training, you kind of shoulders come forward a little bit.
Getting tissue work done,
yeah. So that's been helping a lot. I think now I'm able to. I think before, when I would train chest, I would always kind of safety it. I wouldn't go as low, as you could. And now, since using that newbie, the electrical stimulator, it kind of gives you a bit of a feeling of safety when you go.
Cushion,
when you go into that position. So I've slowly worked my way there, and now I can go super deep. I can do like neck press, like the bar's almost touching here. And,
and the other thing too, when Regan does the newbie, it's not like he's lifting the bar. He's putting 315, 365 on the incline.
I'll go heavy.
He's still going heavier than a lot of pros lift without it.
So with that newbie, I know not everyone's for it. And I was also very I guess ignorant. Or ignorant
Skeptical
to it before, because you don't need that. The old school guys, they never use that. But I think it has its place, and I think like with people that have maybe lagging parts or something, want to get that connection back, or maybe an injury of some sort, like this, where I'm able to now I can train without it, and I can go super deep. So I don't use that newbie every week. I'll use it like.
You weren't using it when I was.
No, So I'll use it, 1 week, maybe the next week not, and the following, back and forth, or we go 2 weeks without it and then use it. It's I think it's a good tool to have. I mean, a lot of people don't have access to it, so I think I'm lucky to.
I have a question for you with the newbie. I heard a podcast and he mentioned about Big Ramy using this for his back.
I suggested for Big Ramy, and I don't know.
I heard this. So
for the low lats, right?
So talk about this, because you were like, I'm not so sure. I'm like really skeptical about the newbie, right?
I am super skeptical because let's face it. Okay, you have a machine, triggering the nervous system, to fire the muscle. It has to be counterproductive. It has to be voluntary muscle contraction. If I want to squeeze the biceps, it has to be voluntary from here, right? Not from something else to contract my muscle, right? And then if something else, that negative feedback, if that does it for me, does my connection lessens. And I think if you do this all the time, what he does every so often, occasionally, okay. What I'm hearing from him, that he had a feeling of protection and safety. That's right there is benefit. That's beautiful, right? So him going much deeper in chest, I'm very happy. what I was telling Dennis for Rami, if you watch him 2013 pro debut in New York, right?
He had a good bet lower lats.
Yeah, all the way down.
I had the same issue. You remember? I mean, I had a great Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, I just lost it.
The Hidetani Magishi had that. You know,
why is
they
that?
think it's the rhomboid, right? Is this what you said?
No, I just said like that insertion. Maybe there is no more, the connection that maybe you need something else to fire that fiber. So on that, I believe the newbie is great for rehab. When you are rehabbing or you have injuries and stuff like that. For that, okay, let's have the impulse for those fibers. If naturally is not happening.
Did it help with Hidetada?
No, I mean he didn't use that.
Oh,
machine.
I thought you did.
No, he didn't use that machine. I just, when I went 2010 back to Europe, and I came back 2017, and he hit the back double biceps. Like, what happened? Because I've never noticed that he didn't have that.
So weird.
Yeah. So
Is it an age thing? Like
I don't know. Probably maybe some nerve atrophy. God knows. So in that distance, okay. Look, it's many people's great business, and I don't want to spoil Andy Verch's business. Obviously, he has a great results with the ladies and with you, right? Putting this during a workout. I am completely against it. Nobody in 70s, 80s, 90s, or your time did that. We don't need it. So okay, it's like that commodity, and
I know, but it's kind of like
you've tried it, right, Jay? Like
Yeah,
did you do it?
I tried it, and listen, I'm not gonna it's just too much work. Does that make sense? Because I'm a guy that trains super fast.
Yeah, and you like to move
drag
around.
the wires around and just like what I mean, and just having the
yeah.
distraction, like I talk about that like the phones, like when you have to do something and pay attention to okay, crank the machine up. It takes your mindset off things.
No.
But with that, speaking on that sense, back in our era, I mean, we were like free weights, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have the machines now. Like, think about the squat machines. So it's kind of like saying, well, I watched Dexter go from training like free weights to become all machines with Charles Glass, and he said, oh, this is what saved me, and I was able to compete till I was 52 years old. Is that the truth? I mean, I don't know.
No.
Well, listen, of course, Compound Mega says free weights.
You said there's no difference between machines and free weights. It's all the time and attention, right?
No. Hold on a second. No, I actually said that. Okay, this is the question. If you fail on 6 to 8 reps doing a bench press, barbell bench press, or 6 to 8 reps of a bench press machine, where do you can say that your chest gets stimulated more if you failed here or here? If you're on a machine that is designed to isolate the primary mover, chest, right? Then chest is going to fail. On the bench press, many guys use triceps or shoulders or anything else, so there is no security that your chest failed here. So therefore, machines can isolate the primary mover more. So I'm not against machines, but there is always that old school hardcore, grind it.
It's a mentality.
Yeah, it's mentality, and but free weights would be more damaging to the tendons and ligaments, by nature. Here is isolated. You are in a groove. You're supposed to. Here you have to adjust yourself, right? So you're doing squats. Somebody leans forward. All kinds of stuff. So when you're in a machine, you're set up there. It's more physiological position.
Yeah, I'm using this really great squat machine at Kilo Club, and it's that.
Yeah, I tried it.
It's on a hinge, right?
Yeah, I love
that
it.
thing is the best.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even put a bar on my back anymore.
Yeah.
I had to for the first time this past week because I actually trained the new Elevation, and they didn't have that kind of squat machine. And
What is it?
What is that machine that we use?
Do you hold on?
There's
You
ways to put
go
it aside,
like
but you can hold, or
Yeah.
you can just.
They have
but it has a
those at Lift
pad.
Factory.
I don't know what it's
Because
called.
the pad comes across
Yeah,
the
it's
front.
like a. It's on a pivot kind of.
Okay, I think I know.
It's
Yeah.
It's great though.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was asking you.
I think Fit Club just ordered it.
But you were doing like the fake hack squats, like when I was over there, and so.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
stuff that you feel.
Yeah, I love that exercise.
Fake hack squats. You hear
Hack
that?
squats.
The fake one.
What is that hack squat called? Linear or?
Oh, the one that
the
you
one
use?
you hold like down here.
The fake one, Milos.
But that one in the powerhouse gym is excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you
play
can really
Jamie, hit
feel
that
it.
one hard.
To play Jamie. Jamie Johal, right? Because I was doing supersets and I didn't know how heavy that is. So I put the 2 plates and he was making all these faces. Like, oh, this is hard. Okay, 2 plates. Then I trained Regan, and he put like 8 plates. I said, hold on a second, what the hell? Jamie was acting. Jamie.
No, you know what? To be honest, man, I put like 2 on there, and it's heavy as shit for me.
You know, we were doing legs the other day, and I went to put 2 plates on, and I was like, "What the fuck? This is so heavy." I was laughing. I look, and this one is sitting on the back of it, and I didn't know I put my knee out.
Onto it.
Yeah, shit. But you had the world class legs. I mean, your legs are state of the art. You didn't develop on the machines, right? You squatted, right?
Well, I didn't have a choice, man. We
exactly.
didn't have this stuff that, like, he comes up with all these grimy exercises. You know, you're just kind of setting the standard.
So let me take it back to what I said before. If you were in charge of Regan, what would you do? Because you've been there, you know what it takes.
I told you I'd lock him in a house and
take his phone away.
But you know what? I'm very impressed with your progress right now, and it's.
Thank you.
I think, you know, if you can continue this path, it's going to be what we talked about.
Yeah, Regan plus 15 pounds of muscle is danger for everyone. Yeah, that's
So what does it take to put 15 pounds on him then?
Well, listen, I mean, this is, you know, we are here anyway, right? You know, because we were discussing these possibilities of that, right?
Tell me your game plan, dude.
Yeah.
So, well, what's your game plan?
We discussed a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. You want me to say it? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Dave, this is your thing.
Your moment.
Yeah. So you know, pretty much you kind of got to go back and you know, go over what we've done leading up to this. You know, I did the Olympia 2021. We had I was there, and then I met up with you after the Olympia.
You had 3
the
shows
day after, and we had a really good run. You know, we did Reno. You know, we got second to Sean Clarita, which was really good. We had Sergio there, some really good athletes, and then we went over to. Well, from there we flew to Dubai. We did the Dubai Muscle Expo. At the same weekend, I flew over to Egypt, and I won the Egypt Pro. And then from Egypt, I did Prague. So we had 3 shows right after Olympia, which was really, really good. Then I went back home to Canada. I think it was around Christmas time. I had about a 4 to 6 week break. You know, after those 3 shows, came right back to Vegas, and we jumped right into 12 weeks out from the Arnold. So not a big break, right back into it. We did the Arnolds. Unfortunately, you know, halfway through, as we spoke before, I got really sick. You know, we were pushing as hard as we could, and unfortunately, you know, we didn't really land where we would have liked to at all. But you know, when I signed the contract, we wanted to do it. We weren't going to back out. So many guys had already backed out. I was just like, you know, we're just going to keep pushing, and hopefully something, you know, will come around and the body will start responding. So we did Arnold, Boston. Not our best showing. I wish we could have showed up like we did in Reno, but you know, it's not over. And after those shows, we had a 12-week break. You know, I'm still training in that time, but it's more of a, you know, health to get back to yourself and feel good. And then from there, 24 weeks out, the 12-week break, and then 24 weeks out from the Olympia. So okay, what do we do 24 weeks out? Okay, we got to grow. So you know, the first you know, what was it, 12 weeks? Now we're around what, 13
14 weeks.
14 weeks now. Yeah. So maybe it was I don't know, 2 weeks ago that we started discussing, you know, something, and it was now we're, like you said, 14 weeks out from the Olympia. So around 16 weeks out. I had about 8 weeks to grow. You know, I'm starting to get. I'm the biggest I've ever been. Around 290, 295 in the morning, and we're on such a good rhythm that I'm just like, you know, Jesus, there's not enough time to really make like substantial amount of improvements for the Olympia. Now, you know, I've qualified, which is, you know, I'm really happy about, but I've been competing for the last, you know, 10 years, about 3 times a year for the last 10 years. So that I've never taken a year off, and you know, I think this is the time. You know, I love to compete. You also love to compete, and you know, doing the Olympia this year would be amazing. But I feel like the best thing right now in my career, seeing myself, you know, really starting to put that tissue on. I need to be, you know, 15 pounds more than I was, you know, say Reno. We were at 254 at the backstage of Reno, and that was my best for sure. But I think 265, 270 on stage would be really, really good, and I would feel super confident at that weight, you know, going in and doing some serious damage. You know, I want to really get in the top 5, and I don't think right now I'm just not there yet. So this year we've decided to take it off and you know, continue this rhythm of putting this tissue on, and we'll hit a show next year and go to Olympia.
So you're making an announcement. You're
Yeah.
officially
Not going to do it this year. It's a hard decision. You know, I love to compete, but I think it's the best move for, you know, where we want to go. And for me to go into the Olympia this year, and you know, I definitely think I've improved under that short period of time that we've had. I think I'd still be up, you know, 254, probably 260 at least. I think
you definitely made the improvement. Just like we all noticed, it's just enough. I mean, you competed 254 in Reno, and you're 6 foot, right? 6 foot.
Yeah.
So it's just expected when you look top 5 from last year, Big Ramy and Brandon, Hadi, Hunter, and Nick, right? Thickly muscled, you know. So they're gonna say, for me, he blows them out of the water as far as symmetry, aesthetics, shape, right? But they're gonna beat him in this mass department.
It's still a muscle contest.
Yeah, it's still muscle contest. Yeah, doesn't matter what we say, it's still muscle contest. I mean, you know, I remember when I was preparing Chris Cormier to battle you at Arnold Classic, right? And he was like, oh, he has much better shape and he should beat you, and you know, but it's still muscle contest and you beat him. And that's how, you know, most of the Olympias are winning, right? Ronnie and Dorian and you. It's a muscle contest. I would prefer beauty over the freaky, you know, size. So how much heavier are you going to be? He's 254 already on the stage in Reno. Frank Zane was under 200. Lila Brada, God knows, right? You know, so back then this was considered, okay, let's go for the shape. But nowadays, when you stand next to Big Ramy, you have to have a size.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have it, he would be like outclassed. And I think it's the right decision. For me, you know, I would love to see him compete. And, you know, you already build it up. Let's just, you know, because we left a little bit bad taste in everybody's opinion. Arnold Classic in Boston, you know, let's get him back in shape. He was really sick as a dog, as you know.
Almost literally.
Yeah.
Me and you sat aside and said, dude, he's got to pull him out of the show. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't want him to faint or stop breathing.
It was bad.
There was moments here that I felt bad because he can't breathe, he can't do nothing. He was just.
There was some miserable times, and I loved the prep too. So it was like it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So what do you? So you're now that you've just heard this,
Well, I mean, you dropped the bomb on us, and you know, I'm shocked that you're actually
agreeing?
Happy.
plus with it.
Yeah. Thank
You know,
God.
and I thought all along. I mean, I think he asked me in my opinion, and you know, you hype Regan a lot. I mean, obviously you're close to him, and I always have the same answer, right? I'm like, dude, he's just not big enough. Like, as much as I believe in him, and I always I would love to pass the torch. There's going to come a time, you know, and I was hoping it would be sooner. Definitely, you know, making the switch years ago to drop down and come back.
That took.
It might have sidelined you, but you know, I can see your vision, I can see your focus, you know, and the mentorship that you give him, you know, I know that you're very particular about how you set your programs, right? So I think the most important thing is the consistency, and I think the sleep pattern is a plus. If I were to say anything of your progress that probably is taking place right now, it's the sleep issue.
100%.
Because from my understanding, you barely slept. Like, you were waking up, and you need that deep REM sleep to be able to make the progress. And you know, I mean, sleeping was so important. I mean,
essential.
That's when you're growing. Is not like when you're in the gym working out for the 1 hour, 2 hours. You're in there a day, and like I said, I mean, I would train twice a day. I would do it all. I mean, you know what my theory would be, right? Because he is he's considered a top level guy. I mean, as far as you know, you have the Yamamoto backing you, Celsius. I mean, everyone's behind you. So it's like you're paid to do this, right? And this is your job. Like, you want to be the best in the world. Like, your mindset needs to be just like I told Sean Roden years ago. I told Phil Heath the same thing. You have to believe that you're going to be the best. And you have to now work on your vision. You have to work on the mental. Like right now, you're like, if I want to get in that top position,
You have to believe.
I have to believe that I know where I need to be. So don't just kind of like skate there and say, well, I'm going to show up and I'm going to hope to place top 5. Like, fuck that. Like, you're going to win, right?
Yeah.
So my expectation is just like in 01, like when I got 8th in 2000, I said, I went on the tour after, I stood next to Coleman for the first time and got compared, and I got second to him because no one else showed up in 2000, and I said, you know what, I can beat this guy.
Yeah.
And I had that vision all year, and I trained for that Olympia.
Yeah.
And I don't know what your plan is. You don't have to make the announcement now. But right now, you're sitting out the only major contest the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You need to start visualizing that you can be the
Next
best
year.
and stand next to the best and be 100%. So when they ask you next year, what do you think you're going to place, or what's your expectations? I'm coming to win.
Yeah.
Without people saying, "Oh my God, well, how con?" Like
crazy.
people know right now, maybe that ability isn't there. But listen, when you hold that weight, like we can talk about how impressive you are right now at 294, but sit at 294 or 300 pounds for the next 6+ months.
Yeah.
Serious business.
Yeah, serious
Serious business, because now that weight is going to stick. Because if you tried to pull down now for the Olympia,
Yeah.
all those progress gains, the fullness, probably, and you can speak on this because you're an expert, would it stick?
Yeah. It's a temporary quickly, and you go right back down.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great decision, as much as it hurts. Oh shit! Everybody wants to see him at Olympia. I get a million Instagram messages. Like, oh, you know, how about, how's he looking? Send me the video. You know, all kinds of stuff. But okay, it's very impressive what you say, Jay, and we discussed this before. And he just 2 minutes ago said he wants to be top 5. You know, so. And F that. And no, this is learn from Jay.
But you know what though? Before you won, you got in the top 5. You
Listen
got
to
the
me.
top 10.
Listen to me. When Lonnie Teeper asked me in the elevator in 2001, he said to me, "What do you think?" I said, "I'm going to win." And he looked at me like, and I only walked out of the elevator and probably said, "This cocky mother effer." And I walked and I stood next to Coleman.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I won.
Wow.
Yeah, you should have won that.
And the judges took it from me. But I was certain, because I had Chris Aceto who had eyes and whatever, and we know, like, he had seen it, like, he's like, dude, this is
Crazy.
I talk about this. When I saw him at the lineup next to Ronnie, he winked at me because I was like, I didn't expect it, you know, seriously. But what I want to say, you can learn this from me, because I was not a winner and I didn't have this mentality, you know, fuck top 5, you're going for a victory. He had that mentality, even though last time when he said,
he did it.
Yeah, even 99, he said he believed he could have be. I forgot.
I thought I was going to stand next to Ronnie Coleman.
I forgot famous Ronnie's comment, like, Jay is smoking crack.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he was not ready. But listen, you have, for me, for everybody, best aesthetics in the goddamn whole open division bodybuilding in the world. You have best aesthetics.
Thank you.
It's right there. Structure, your shoulders are wide. I mean, everything is there. So now, if you fill it up with a high quality muscle, you have strided lats, strided glutes, strided hamstring already, right? With the bigger quads, a little bit, and full of chest, deeper abs, peaking bicep, it's going to be very hard to beat. I don't care who is next to you know. I was competing in an era with I said Flex, Sean, Kevin, so I didn't really believe it, and I was shocked that you had so much confidence that you saw yourself winning. I'm shocked, and I'm happy to hear it. Winner's mentality. I can feel that energy from him. He was convinced. You are still not convinced. So change your mind from a top 5, because when we were going to this year's Olympia, this was his mentality. Okay, if he can crack top 6, you go to the first call out.
Top 10, which I don't.
But
If
then
he doesn't have the size, it's tough.
Why train to be in a top 10 this year when you can use this time to grow and next year deliver something that Jay delivered in 2001.
And you know
The
what?
best way to do it.
we all talk about Regan has Mr. Olympia potential. Eventually, it's like how many times? It's just like Big Ramy. We said it over. If this guy gets it together, this guy gets it together every year. He's go. If he just gets in shape, he missed it so many times, and then finally, when he hit it, looking
He's
at
like,
this
boom,
year,
boom, 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 every
I'm going to
time.
ask you straight out: who's winning the Olympia this year?
Big Ramy.
Remy, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think
It's-
there's any like. Listen, a month ago, I said, okay, people may challenge him, but now looking at what's going on,
He's
dude,
he's focused.
forget it.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
can
I
tell.
mean, I can't see him losing, being in the shape he is at 14 weeks out right now.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday for about an hour. He's such a sweetheart. But really, no matter how wide lens that was, he didn't fit in a picture. I mean, his
And you know
shoulders
what's
were
crazy?
this
We always
wide.
talk about this. Jay's the first word to
Yeah.
say it. Width matters. We talked about the potential for years, but why get back on stage if you know I have to get bigger? Why do it? Why are you in a hurry to get your
It
ass?
sucked that we were doing these, like, we were kept building up these Olympias, and we couldn't necessarily talk about your name in the top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it-
Right?
it
We
bothers
just couldn't,
me
because
for
this
sure.
top 10 is going to be
Yeah.
shit. It's going to
Yeah.
be
Last
crazy.
last
It's gonna
podcast,
be-
actually, I even feel guilty for not saying it, but being realistic, right? When you see top 6 from last year and a couple more contenders, he's going to be challenging it, but that's not what we want. I mean, listen,
You wanna win.
When he came to me and said, hey, we need to talk. I
would-
was like, no,
So-
but
Matt's like, you going over there or what?
Regan and I, we started talking about this, and I
Yeah.
said, okay, if this is what you want to do. We went to his sponsors to make sure his sponsors are okay, because
Yeah.
you have to. Some
Yeah.
sponsors, and I was like, you got to go talk to Milos in person.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this needs to come from you, because we know how much Milos believes
Yeah.
and he wants him to compete.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if your ultimate goal is to be Mr. Olympia, sometimes you have to take a step back in order to take 2 steps ahead, and that's what he's doing.
Did you think
now.
you were getting canned, or?
yeah,
Don't lie.
no, I could see it. I could see it coming, right? Because okay, look, it's not like he's not motivated and all this stuff, but what we were talking, you have a winner's mentality. You want to win, and we were kind of. He had the same way. He wants to make a top 5, and even top 5. When you see top 5 from last year is going to be very hard to knock it off, right?
course.
To get into this, you know, and then you have a Samson. You
Not
have
at
a,
260.
You have a
Where-
William Boniak. You
where-
have a.
Where I
you know,
sit,
jacked.
where I sit now, I think top 10 would be
It's very hard.
Would be hard. Would be
Challenging.
hard.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
That's
It-
being
it's
It's
realistic.
gonna be great, realistic, because we're not delusional. We know bodybuilding, you know.
So- If he 254 ripped in great condition in Reno could not beat Sean Clarita, right? He damn sure is not going to beat Big Ramy, you know, or Nick Walker, you know. So with the same principles, right? But if you bring him to what we talk about, 265 to 70, then it's a different ball game. I mean, when you are wider, bigger V-taper, X-frame, strided. I mean, we all appreciate that conditioning that you brought straight and right? You turn the back and you do that.
a lot of guys don't have
Yeah,
that.
they don't have it. So yeah, I can visualize him at his best. I already have it with the full chest, right, and thick, deep abs. His structure.
He's getting excited.
Two
Yeah,
seven-
yeah, I
He's
can't
over
wait.
there like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
We're still not there. Yeah, I tell you, I'm bummed that
Floating.
I'm bummed that I don't train you because I think that if I train you, you would be that much more because I
You
still
know,
think,
you know what's funny though?
I still think that you know, get away with the easy stuff.
So I didn't know when Regan was going to talk to Milos, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see FaceTime
Yeah, you
video from
FaceTime
Milos, and I'm
Matt.
like, oh shit.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
answered
yeah.
it, and they're sitting right there, and he's like, okay, we got to talk.
I was
I'm like,
worried. I was worried.
No, but you know what? Because we know how much Milos wants him to
Yeah, of
compete.
course, yeah,
But
yeah.
after you look at the big picture,
Yeah.
if the ultimate goal is to get to the top, this is a smart decision to
By far.
get there.
I
Wait a
think
minute,
we
is your name
talked-
Milos?
Milo.
Or Milos?
Milos.
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 Okay, so I've been
Milos.
saying it wrong.
Everybody.
Restart the introduction again.
Milos.
Milos.
Okay, say my last name.
Sarcev.
Shatchev.
Sarchev.
Shatchev. Okay.
Shatchev.
Shatchev.
So there's an R in the middle.
Shatchev. Yeah, it's R.
Sarchev.
Sarchev.
Okay.
Sarchev.
Yeah, but you know what? I catch myself sometimes when I'm introducing myself. I said Milos.
What about Andy Velchich?
Huh?
Andy
Velchich. Yeah,
What is
Velchich
it?
doesn't.
Belichick's.
Yeah.
No,
see,
he doesn't know his last name. I guarantee you. I guarantee it's Valchich. You know, I told him to ask your mom.
Yeah.
You know, so
I call him Valchich.
We had this on the
You don't know?
show the other day, Antoine
Valiant.
Yeah.
Same thing with Angelica. Everybody always says
What's her last name?
Texeria.
Oh.
It's not.
Teixeira.
It's Teixeira.
Oh,
Teixeira.
What?
Okay.
Just a little lower Teixeira.
Yeah. So everyone always says her name wrong, and I'm
What's
like,
Big Rami's name?
Oh.
Mamdouh Elsbaye.
Is that what it
It's
is?
his real name.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ashamed. I don't know. Yeah.
So how do you feel now?
What's Andrew Jack's name?
Andrew Jacked?
No.
I don't know.
What's his name?
I don't know his real name.
It's
God
not.
damn.
It's a different.
Yeah, I have him on
Yeah.
Instagram. You know, he was under different name. But I think that Jacked is such a great, Andrew Jacked.
We're gonna see him next
Yeah,
week for the first time.
Yeah.
We're gonna see him next weekend for the first
Oh yeah,
time.
for the
Arnold
Arnold Classic,
UK.
yes. What do you guys think of Arnold? Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see.
There's this
Yeah.
guy Mark Hector that they talking about. Is
Yeah.
he good or?
Supposedly,
Looks good.
I've
Dan-
seen
Dennis-
this guy
I
before.
competed against him in the UK.
Yeah.
2019.
He looks pretty good in the pictures.
He's
Yeah.
good.
And,
I mean, he has
Mar-
good lines.
I
He
guess
just-
Martin's had got a little battle going with Andrew
With
Jack
Andrew,
a little
yeah.
bit.
I don't know what kind of battle, come on.
I don't think
There was no comparison, really. With all due respect, I mean, there was the standout. You saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, was it really a comparison? Okay, when you analyze muscle by muscle, okay, he's
I
shorter,
don't know. A lot of
compact.
people thought that Martin should have won.
I don't think so. The
I don't think I heard
same.
anyone say that.
Huh?
Did they?
Nah,
Martin?
yeah.
I thought Andrew walked away with it.
Yeah. For me, there
Yeah,
was.
but look, if Andrew's not
there was a
shape,
hands
if
down.
he's off, and Martin could.
He was like, I keep mentioning this because I did that. I don't know if you remember. 1 minute into 2009 Olympia, I called his number, cell phone, and I left, congratulations, you won. For me, that was so convincing, okay? With all due respect to Dexter Jackson. Dexter later told me, like, oh, what are you talking about, man, and all this stuff. For me, that was, I love your shape, Dex. You are my guy as far as he has all this beauty and aesthetics and everything. Jay was twice the size, twice as width, and all V-taper, ripped to the bone. And I don't know if you noticed this, you were convinced you won already. As soon as you step on, it reflected your stage presence was, ooh.
Confidence matters.
You really
And
have
for
to have that.
me, Dexter didn't have that. And when I mentioned in the podcast, he was kind of offended. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it was apparent. It was apparent, for sure. So, Andrew Jack, I didn't even notice Martin next to him. Really, it was not like, oh, let's compare. There is a fight. It wasn't.
Andrew's pretty standout.
Yeah, there was.
He's tall.
I mean, there was maybe second and third, Steve and Martin. That was a fight for the second place. But this Martin has a shape, He has a width, a round muscle base. Yeah, condition was quite good, very good, especially from the back.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a front as good as. But is he a contender?
And
Yeah.
James is in the show also.
James
James too, yeah.
James, I mean, look, Martin might as well, could even win the contest. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but shape, structure, that wow factor, it was not even close. So did you actually look at when we were watching?
Yeah, we watched
did you actually notice Martin being contender?
No, I'm pretty. I'm a big fan of this Andrew Jack. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know they were talking about Tony Freeman comparison and how great Tony Freeman is
yeah.
versus they tried to do like, what everyone does. They put the pictures of Tony next to Andrew Jack and said, "Oh well, look, he looks better in this." But it's never the same unless it's
they
like
gotta
saying
say
era
that.
to era, like
Yeah.
Mr. Olympia's and see Ronnie Coleman destroys Dorian Yates. It
Well,
would be a lot closer than what the pictures show,
Yeah.
right?
They always do that too. They put Chris Bumstead and Rami beside
Yeah,
each
of
other.
course.
Oh, Chris looks bigger. It doesn't. You put them beside each other on stage. It's not even the same thing.
We
But,
should also do a shout out. Today was the passing of Bill Pearl, also. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're all shocked today, September 14. Bill Pearl, legendary bodybuilder, at the age of 91, passed away. Yeah.
He was someone we all admired coming.
He was 1953 AU Mr. USA, and then he competed. I think his last contest was 71. NABA Universe when he beat Sergio Oliva and Frank Zane. He was legendary. I just never figured out. There was pictures of Bill and Arnold on the stage, and I tried to figure out what was that, but they never really competed against each other. But Bill was vegetarian. I do remember that, which was kind of shocking. I had the pleasure of talking to him many times, he was such a gentleman. And I'm going to tell this because it's really close to my heart. When we talk about it, and I was talking about this training to failure, and he's looking at me, Milos, why would you fail in anything, right? And he got me off guard, like, okay, that's a valid question. Why would you want to fail in anything? I say, okay, I see a point, but I say, okay, don't you train to your limits and beyond the limits? And then he goes, okay, I see your point, right? So he was actually always kind of stopping training short of the failure. Okay?
My style.
Yeah, your style, yeah. And look what did you
Yeah,
do?
he was
Just won Olympia 4 times?
I had
What
a
did
lot
you
of
do
great
with that?
interactions with him. He worked with Life Fitness
What
for
a
a long
gentleman,
time.
yeah.
And I got to see him quite a bit at the trade shows, coming in. I watched a lot of this old school bodybuilding, which the books were more apparent of. Today we don't see it as much on social media, correct?
Yeah.
But he was definitely one of the guys I looked upon as an inspiration to me. And you walked in today and mentioned it to me, and we had both seen a media this morning. But once again, 91, great life.
Yeah, great life.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have to respect he was well liked among everyone and respected. I mean, look at this physique. He was so ahead of the time. I mean, the size and thickness that he had for 1950s was mind-boggling, right? So, yeah, I just, ironically, about 2 weeks ago, because I moved my house and I couldn't find his key of the universe, the book, instructional book. I don't know if you've seen it, with the drawings of each exercise.
Ooh.
It's one of the best books you can
You
have.
have
So
it in
I
your big
reordered.
library. You have it display in your new place.
Not yet.
The library.
My
Sweet.
bookcase is coming at the end of the month. You order, you wait forever. But anyway, so our condolences to Bill Pearl's family and loved ones. Yeah, it was, and he's going to be on our minds forever. I do know that.
Yeah. So let's close this up, Regan. Let's have you for the last word. I think this is your time, and obviously your fans and supporters, the listeners are all going to be. They're all going to be behind you, I know, with this decision.
Yeah.
I know some people are going to be disappointed, but at the same time, you're going to be present, obviously, at the Olympia weekend.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You'll
I'll
really
be
be
there.
able to be active this time.
I'll be there with, Yamamoto, Celsius,
Trifecta.
Trifecta, so we'll be there and look forward to seeing everyone and watching the show, too. I'll be able to watch it from the stands, so it'll be sweet.
He's going to have a shirt, Club 300 plus. Right?
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
The weight don't mean much. It's
No.
just about what's going to
Yeah,
stick, and
exactly.
that's the most important thing. And we're really looking forward to tracking the progress. We'll have you guys both on to kind of update people with the progress. We appreciate you guys always sharing the news with us, and we can't wait to see you on the top, man. So
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Yeah.
So
Thanks for
until
having
next
me on.
time, we are taking pictures.
That's his
Podcast
famous.
and,
Are you doing the
Look at
quarter
his
face now?
famous
Look at these
face.
fucking train wrecks in here.
This
What a bunch
became
of
the job.
catastrophes.
All right, so we're out for 44, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys comment below. Let us know what you think about the decision, the methods, and where you see Regan
But wait,
next.
hold on. One more thing. How many diuretics did you take last night?
I took one diuretic last night after I told you. I was contemplating Lasix or the diuretic. It was late. And then this morning I was considering taking 25 hydrochlorothiazide, but I said, okay. I think my face is down.
Tomorrow, I have to take a diuretic.
Are you peaking right now?
Yeah.
Are you peaking?
Listen, pictures are forever, videos are forever. Right now I'm not showing my incredible physique, so my face has to be like chiseled, right?
All right, we appreciate you always, Milos.
There you go. Say my last name.
Sarshev.
All right, next time.
All right.
I want to
Thanks
hear
for
it.
listening, guys. All right, so we just wrapped up that podcast with Jay, Matt, and Milos. It was a great chat, and obviously we broke the news there. So just to wrap up from me for today's video, I'm super happy about the decision. I'm really glad that they all really are on board with this decision, and moving forward, we've created a plan, and I feel like it's the absolute best move. So I hope you guys also are on board and understand the situation. I know you'd probably like to see me compete at the Olympia, but in order to win, this is not going to serve me to compete this year. So guys, I just want to say a big thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you comment below what you think about this whole thing, and give me a like, and share the video if you can. And thanks for watching. Grimey out.
For the win, iced out, chilly, no degrees, way below the 10. Money bin, ooh, ay, see me jumping in, ooh, on the cam, diving in, ooh, that's a 10. For the gram, all the haters told me that I can't always.